Yo, what is up everybody and welcome back to Controlled Chaos Gaming. We have the final week of the CCG Draft League. This week is going to be myself, the Torcano Quake, Blizzvalanche, Firecane, Beedrills versus Nick, who is what is he this season? He's like the Frogs, something the Frogs. I think it's called Zappy Frogs? Yeah, I believe that's it. We are using our same team from week 8. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Jeez. And he's got, of course, the DONDOZO TATSUGIRI. We all knew it was coming. So let's see what we can do against it. All right, here we go. Getting into this game 1. Good luck to Nick. Let's do this. Looks like it's going to be Iron Moth and Mimikyu to start. As I have the Toxtricity and Gothitelle. And it's going to be a Quark Drive activating Booster Energy. Speed was heightened, so he's pretty fast now. We have a couple options. One of them is just Overdrive to do a lot of damage to both Pokemon. We also can switch out. I think I am going to go for the Overdrive and definitely going to use that Fake Out on turn 1 into the Iron Moth. I'm really hoping that he sets Trick Room for me, because I have the camera up in the back, and I don't think he knows that. But he could go for an Imprison as well. Lots of things that he can do on that Mimikyu. Could also just go on the offense, go Shadow Ball. Bunch of stuff. Looks like it's going to be the Fake Out coming off there. And Overdrive. Does this do 50%? Does a little bit less than 50%, but breaking the disguise on Mimikyu is fantastic. As we see a Swords Dance. That's fine. Nothing too crazy here. Alrighty here. We're going to go for the Overdrive once again, and we are going to Terra... No, we're not going to Terra. We're just going to try and go for the Trick Room. See what we can do about it. Turn 1 Trick Room would have been really good there, but getting the Fake Out is fantastic, as it allows me to do a bunch of stuff. Looks like he is going to Terra one of his Pokemon, though. Let's see if it's going to be... It is the Iron Moth. Okay, so going to Grass typing. Very interesting. And we're going to see what it goes for. Looks like Shadow Sneak is going to go off into the Toxtricity, do a ton of damage, and Fiery Dance also into the Toxtricity. So... gonna knock out Toxtricity, but that is fantastic for me because we're gonna get Trick Room off for free, and then we're gonna get in our Camerupt as well. Alrighty, so the Camerupt's coming in here. Camerupt's been fantastic this season. Absolutely love him. One of my favorites. We're gonna go for that big Eruption. And we're also going to go for a Psychic into the Mimikyu slot. Really curious what happens here. He could switch out the Iron Moth for maybe DONDOZO, or TATSUGIRI maybe. Or maybe he has Primeape in the back. I'm not quite sure. But this Camerupt is definitely the slowest one on the field at the moment. So I am just going to go first with the Eruption. He could Shadow Sneak into the Camerupt to kind of reduce its damage, but he actually Shadow Sneaks into the Gothitelle, which is just going to activate my Citrus Berry. So that's really good for me, getting some chip damage on this Mimikyu, hopefully enough to knock it out with the Psychic. It kind of sucks that you have to hit Mimikyu like 3 times to take it out, but, you know, still nice. As we're going to take it out, and we're going to see who Nick has in the back. As it is the DONDOZO. So very nice there. Revealing the DONDOZO. So we're going to go ahead and Grass Terra, and we're going to Terra Blast the DONDOZO, and we're also going to Psychic into DONDOZO. I expect the Iron Moth to probably switch out into TATSUGIRI. Worst case scenario here is he protects the DONDOZO and then just fires off a move with the Iron Moth, as we are doubling up into the DONDOZO. So, but I expect him to kind of like try and combat the Eruption here, because Eruption is a pretty strong play, even if I just do it for chip damage, right? But I'm going with a pretty offensive play here to see what I can do. And then, of course, we still have Tauros in the back, so really good for us as a late-game attacker. It looks like he is not switching out, so we'll see if he protects the Dondozo here. We are, of course, the Grass Terra Camerupt, so gonna protect us from any water moves or ground moves that might go into our slot. And Terra Blast is the first thing to move. So this Dondozo is not going to appreciate this Terra Blast as his wide glass is boosted. And Wave Crash is the choice. Let's see if it's into the Camerupt. It is, so that's going to do a lot, but he's going to take a lot. And that was a critical hit, so Psychic should take out the Dondozo, and that's going to be Iron Moth and one more Pokemon in the back. Is it going to be a Sludge Wave here? No, Fiery Dance into the Gothitelle, I presume. Yep, does not take it out either, and does not give him a special attack boost. So Tatsugiri comes out next. And here we go. We're going to go for the... I guess we go for Terra Blast into the Tatsugiri and Psychic into the Iron Moth. I expect him to protect with either both Pokemon or neither of the Pokemon. I think protect on one of the Pokemon is a little rough for him because if I do end up doubling the slot that he doesn't protect, then it's really bad, right? But maybe, yeah. So just no protect on either one here as Terra Blast comes off. Going to do a ton of damage to this Tatsugiri. Take it down to half. And we've got the Psychic hopefully going to finish off the Iron Moth here. Does not. But it does get a special defense drop, so. And it's a nasty plot on Tatsugiri. I don't really mind that much, as we're going to see Fiery Dance into the Camerupt now, so good choice on his end. Okay. So, getting down to it, we've got not too many turns of Trick Room left, but we do have a... Oh, we have Flutter Mane. That's right. Oh, we're feeling fantastic right now with the Flutter Mane. I totally forgot we had Flutter Mane still. So Trick Room has one turn, and what we're going to do is go for the Shadow Ball into... He's already Terra'd, so Moonblast is the best play, and then we're going to go for the Psychic into the Iron Moth. Okay, so the Protect is going to come off there. Tatsugiri going to probably do some damage, and then let's see. Hydro Pump, that's going to miss. That's going to lose him the game as well, because I am indeed Focus Sash on the Flutter Mane. So I think if he hit there, it could have been pretty bad for me, because if he had Sludge Wave, he might have been able to knock out both. But I think Gothitelle would have survived. I think... Actually, no, it probably wouldn't have. Yeah, that might have just lost him the game going for the Hydro Pump there. Yeah. Let's see it. Sludge Wave is the choice. Yeah, that would have knocked out both. So, crazy. The Hydro Pump just lost him the game, man. That's nuts. All right, so we're going to get game one here. A really close game. Came down to basically the last turn, so. But, you know, it's the last week. You got to make decisions. You got to make risks, or take risks, and Nick took the risk of playing Hydro Pump, just didn't pay off that one time. I'm sure if any other world where he got the Hydro Pump, he probably would have won that game. So we're going to get into it with one more. Alrighty here, so getting back into this. Gosh, they're just blowing that up. So getting back into this, let's see. I'm thinking King Gambit's a really good starting Pokemon for this, as it's pretty immune to the field. And then we're going to go with the Gothitelle again. The threat of Gothitelle is just so big into a bunch of matchups. And I think the camera up was fantastic in that last game, and we're actually just going to go with the... Do I want to go with the Tauros this time, or do I want to go to the Flutter Mane? I'm thinking that we... Let's see. Yeah, I'm thinking we go with the Tauros this time and leave Flutter Mane, and we're going to call that good. So let's get into this. It's really, really nice starting the Gothitelle against somebody with a Dondozo because they can't switch, right? I just am now realizing in the last game, I was like, oh, he should have switched in TATSUGIRI. It's because he couldn't. So it's really good for me to be able to do that because it kind of like locks him into a specific action for the game plan, especially against the Dondozo TATSUGIRI setup. You're not really able to switch in the TATSUGIRI very easily. So let's see it. All right, we got the Primate Frostless this time, so the King Gambit was a fantastic choice here. And we have the ability to fake out the Primate, so what I think we will do is go for the Iron Head into Frostless, and I am also going to fake out into the Primate. Although he could be Ghost Terra, that would be pretty bad for me. I think I'll go for the Fairy Terra. Actually doesn't seem fine. We'll just protect the King Gambit and go for a Brick Room? Yeah, we'll go for Protect Trick Room and we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be the Terra, so this should be a Psychic type, or sorry, a Ghost type Primate. And it is. Just going for the Trick Room here, going to avoid that. We are going to see, however, what he does if he goes for the Anger Point or what happens here, as we do protect our King Gambit. It's going to be Taunt, so that sucks because we're not going to get off Trick Room, but let's see what the Primate does this turn. It's going to be a Drain Punch into our King Gambit. Okay. Alrighty, so nothing like that for us. I think what we're going to do, though, is we're going to Terra into the Fairy typing and go for a big Sucker Punch into the Primate, and we're going to switch in the Tauros because we figure he's probably not Defiant. He could be Defiant, but I don't think he is. As Frostless does switch out here, so let's see. Iron Moth is going to be the choice, so great for us to switch in the Tauros here. Assuming that it's not a Defiant Primate. Tauros going to come in here, get the Intimidate off. Let's see, no Defiant. It is Defiant. Okay, so that's good. Good to know for game 3. And we're going to see me Terra into Fairy typing now, so any fighting moves will be resisted. And I'm, of course, going for the Sucker Punch. So Sucker Punch, if he goes for an attacking move, will do a ton of damage to him, and it'll hit him before he hits me. So he goes for Protect, which is interesting. I didn't really expect that to be the choice. Alrighty here. So I think what we're going to go for now is actually switching out King Gambit for the Gothitelle. It's a little rough. We're just going to go for the Sucker Punch again onto the Primate, I guess, and we will go for a Raging Bull into the Iron Moth. Get some chip damage on both of them. The Sucker Punch will do a lot of damage to the Primate if I hit it. He could also go for the Sludge Wave here, but we've seen 2 moves already, Fiery Dance and Sludge Wave, so I'm not sure what the other ones are. My guess is Terra Blast is one of them, so he's going to switch it out though. So something is going to take a lot of damage here. It's going to be the Mimikyu is actually just going to take the hit with the Disguise. So Sucker Punch, does it do 50%? It almost one-shots it. Wow. Critical hit. So really cool. I could have actually gone for the Aqua Jet and Sucker Punch with that, as Rage Fist is going to come off here, and that's going to do a ton of damage, presumably into the Tauros. Yep. Does not take me out, though, so that Raging Bull is going to go off into the Mimikyu, doing a ton of damage. Just kidding. Just knocking off the Disguise. So now it's pretty safe to go for the Iron Head and a Aqua Jet into this Primeape, because even if he switches out into Iron Moth, it's going to take a ton of damage from the Aqua Jet. There's basically nothing he can do at this point except for protect the Primeape and maybe Trick Room. But I believe the Iron Head is just a clean KO now, so that's good for me. I don't know if you guys can hear it upstairs, but people have been moving furniture for the past like 4 days now. So, and our old neighbors did that too. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's just furniture moving all the time. So looks like Primeape is going to switch out. Is it Iron Moth? It's looks like Frostless. So Frostless is going to take an Aqua Jet to the face. As Shadow Sneak comes off, not going to do enough to knock out the Tauros. Obviously, Tauros is fairly bulky. So Aqua Jet doing a little bit of chip damage to that. And it's going to get disabled, which kind of sucks. As Iron Head is going to knock out that Mimikyu. So, and with no Tatsugiri or Dondozo, I'm feeling very confident about this game already. But we'll see, you know. And we're just going to protect our King Gambit and switch in the Gothitelle here. Going to reactivate Fake Out. And unactivate Cursed Body, of course. As the Gothitelle comes in here, we are going to see a Helping Hand into the Iron Moth. And we're going to protect the King Gambit. I presume that it's going to go for a Sludge Bomb. Sludge Wave. He's actually going to attack his own guy. This is going to do a lot of damage to his own guy as well. Actually didn't do that much at all. And it's going to activate a Citrus Berry on the Frostless. So, interesting play there. Not quite sure how I feel about it. But here we are. So we're going to go for, what do we want to go for? Nothing really does a lot to anything. So I think we're just going to go for the Iron Head and a Fake Out into the Iron Moth. So Fake Out going off there. And then Iron Head presumably next, as Fake Tears goes into my Defiant King Gambit. I don't think he thought that one through very well. Yeah, because that's a really bad thing to do in that situation. Wow. I'm not quite sure why he did that, but hey, we'll take it, right? And now we can pretty easily go for a Protect and Trick Room here to kind of just set the field for us for the rest of the game. If he does knock out, yeah, I presumed that he was going to go Protect and probably Sludge Wave here, so this is going to be a pretty free Trick Room. He is just not predicting these Protects today on the King Gambit, so really, really interesting. Let's see. I'm going to move this to the side because I think this looks better right here. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better because then you can see the King Gambit a little more as well. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, Gothitelle gonna get the berry going again, and there goes Trick Room, and that's pretty much game. There's not much he can do to stop it at this point. We're gonna go for the Sucker Punch into Iron Moth, and we're also gonna go for a Psychic into Primeape. I think this is probably the best play because the Primeape is not going to do hardly any damage with the fighting attacks to either of my Pokemon, so it kind of has to go for a Ghost attack. So, that being said, I don't think he can knock out King Gambit in one turn. And this game is looking pretty wrapped up to us. Sucker Punch going to probably one-shot with the Defiant boost that he gave us, so that's going to be a knockout there, and then Psychic is going to clean up the game here. So that's going to be game 2 going to me. So that's a 2-0 victory for the Torkoquake, Blizzvalanche, Firecane, Beedrills, and that's going to set us into second place going into the finals. The finals, of course, is going to be in a couple weeks, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that. And GG's to Nick. Really, really cool Pokemon, especially the Iron Moth. That was a cool set to see. And I'm always a fan of the Dondozo Tatsugiri. So game 1 was really close. Game 2 was a little more in my favor, but that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. This season has been fantastic. We're going to come back with one more video, and that's going to be the finals, and then that's going to be it for the season. So I really appreciate everybody who sticked it out and saw the whole thing. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.